It's a profound truth that our beliefs shape our reality. If you don't subscribe to the idea of non-duality or any other such philosophies, and instead you firmly believe in the existence of an afterlife where your ego, mind, and body continue, then, without a doubt, that is where you will find yourself. Bhagawan often emphasized that if you believe in heaven, hell, or any other realm, those realms will exist for you. God's mercy is such that He creates a reality according to your belief system. Thus, whatever you believe, it will manifest, and you will experience it, governed by the laws of karma and conditioning. So, the real choice is whether you want this dream to continue in different forms, shapes, and places, or whether you wish to transcend it altogether. The path of non-duality. Non-duality or Advaita is for those who seek to end all concepts and conditioning, including spiritual ones. It's for those who wish to completely dissolve these constructs and step beyond them. But it's crucial to recognize that even non-duality can start as belief systems simply because at the outset we don't truly know its reality. We might believe in the ultimate truth of non-duality, but this too is a construct we create based on our limited understanding. However, in non-duality, the ultimate aim is the complete dissolution of the ego. This path demands the total surrender of all desires and attachments. It's not just another spiritual achievement, it's the end of the ego story. If one wishes to retain even the slightest part of their ego, it may be better to explore other spiritual paths. Non-duality is for those willing to risk everything, including their very sense of self. In all other spiritual paths, the ego remains, achieving and experiencing different realities. But in non-duality, the goal is to finish off the ego entirely. This is where all stories end, where the dream concludes, and where only the light of pure awareness remains. If you are genuinely interested in becoming that light, where no sense of other exists, then non-duality is the path for you. This path is indescribable and beyond explanation. Anyone who claims to explain it hasn't truly experienced it. It is known only by that which it is. The seeker who desires to know this must be willing to disappear, for the very desire to reach it is the obstacle. Everything else in the world can be achieved through the ego, but knowing the self requires the ego to vanish. This disappearance happens only when the self reveals itself, absorbing the mind, ego, and all concepts into its vastness. This process is often slow, with moments of deep realization where the ego almost disappears, leading to blissful experiences. These moments, glimpses of consciousness, gradually thin out the ego until only pure bliss remains. In this state, the body and mind are without ownership, and there is no one to claim the experience. The same protector of the entire universe becomes the protector of that body, and the Gnani is so absorbed in this blissful awareness that what we consider wakefulness is sleep to them. The waking state is still under the spell of the ego, centered around one individual body. But for a Gnani, the ego expands infinitely until it dissolves, leaving only pure awareness, the true nature of existence, which is nameless and formless. The only sin, if we can call it that, is the belief that one owns this body and mind. Ownership is different from usage. Just as machines in a department are leased and not owned, the body and mind are merely tools given to us temporarily, with all their maintenance handled by a hire. For the ego, this feels like a huge sacrifice. But in truth, it is simply shedding the unreal. The individual cannot know this truth because we are nothing more than a bundle of experiences, colored by our conditioning and mind. Only a Ghani sees the world as it truly is, without the distortions of the ego and mind. The world, in the eyes of a Ghani, is pure bliss, a state of infinite awareness. They are awake in a way that is beyond our comprehension, where the ego has dissolved and only the infinite remains. This state cannot be owned, claimed, or protected by any individual entity, for it is the true essence of all that exists. The journey to this state is not about accumulating knowledge or experiences, but about letting go of everything, including the ego, until only the self remains. This is the ultimate freedom, where the dream ends and the light of pure awareness shines eternally.